Good morning, guys. It is March 26th. It's Sunday morning. Your morning Horn of Zeese. I have my coffee right here, Horn of Zeese's coffee. This is a Starbucks Seattle mug. Just a little sympathy for Cliff High's amount of rain he's got going up there in Washington. A few things today, and then I'm going to go over the Wall Street Journal because Zero Hedge pretty much takes the weekends off, in my opinion. I mean, they work so hard during the normal week. But in my opinion, on Sunday, yeah, there's not much going on Zero Hedge. I would like to talk about quickly, and I know I've been going on about this, but the Bitcoin fork and all that. It reminds me of the early days when I was, a foot soldier for GATA, and I came across the Roota stuff, and I was saying, there's something else going on here. There's something bigger behind the scenes. And the GATA guys, all the brilliant GATA guys, were so against what I was saying, that the Fed is the good guys and they're looking to take down the banks and things like that. And I fought for a long time, for years, against my own people, my own peeps, about the road to Roota theory. And then, ultimately I came to a situation where I was looking at the scenarios for when the system does go down, and everybody believed the system would crash, but they never ran the scenarios of what would happen in a world in which the banking system crashes and collapses. And that's when I got into getting out of. I was openly discussing getting out of mining companies, not because they weren't worth anything, but because they were too valuable. In a world where everybody loses everything in the banks, there's no way in the world that humanity, even we the people, would allow people to get rich off this horrific thing that's about to happen to our system. So I do believe 100% that the mining companies will be nationalized. Just think about it. It's obvious. Gold and silver will be the most likely forms of money people go to after the crashing of an unbacked electronic system. So yeah, and I was vilified for it for years and decades, but I knew it was right. I just still know today. It's going to come down to the people. What we the people want to have as money, and what we the people will stand for and allow. And that's kind of where the Bitcoin arguments are going. These smartest people in Bitcoin that I've been told about at Bitcoin Core, SegWit, I've been watching some of their videos. They're not the smartest people around. They might be great computer programmers and they know things about economics. They have no idea of the morality factor that will come into play when the monetary system shuts down. If SegWit gets his way, I believe Bitcoin will be destroyed overnight. In the banking crash, just because of the morality issue. It's not a useful tool for humanity going forward if it's not available as a means of exchange, and it's only a store of value. So I think that store of value will literally disappear, and people will be so angry at anybody who has any assets left. Bitcoin will be the obvious place where the price goes through the roof, but the people say no. This does nothing good for humanity if it's not available for use, and yes, Bitcoin can be shut down real easily if every human being on Earth, except for those who own it, decide that it's not a good thing for humanity. They could just outlaw it in every country and shut off power to miners and arrest people for mining Bitcoin, arrest people all around the world for using Bitcoin. And we don't want that. We want Bitcoin to be available for use at that moment in time. That's the highest and greatest use of Bitcoin, in my opinion. Right now, it's rich people and investors in Bitcoin looking to Bitcoin as a store of value. That's fine and dandy in the current situation. The moment that flips and the banks go down, and if Bitcoin is not available as a means of exchange for the people, your store of value is going to go away instantly because the people won't stand for it. It's not good for humanity. So that's why I believe the good guys are behind the scenes taking this fight on, and will probably do the hard fork. I'm thinking in a month or two. Right now they got most of the hashing power. I think it's nearing in on 51%. It'd be great to have 51%. It's not necessary because there's enough of the big miners who have been clued in probably by the Chinese government. Chinese government has gigantic plans for Bitcoin in the future. And if the core developers SegWit solution gets put into place, it throws the Chinese government's plan for Bitcoin right out the window. And I thought these guys were smart enough to understand that, but after watching some of their videos and the way they talk about Bitcoin, I get the whole anarchy thing, but in reality, it's tougher to be an anarchist when the banks collapse because there'd be so much hatred at anybody who does anything against humanity, and Bitcoin would be going against humanity. On the flip side, if Bitcoin maintains its means of exchange, fast and cheap transactions, it will be the number one thing for everyone in the whole world. It's amazing how correct Roger Ver is in this argument. I don't think he thought of it himself. He kind of did. I mean, he's been talking about the same stuff, but I don't even know if he's sure of the ramifications of the fight that he's fighting, because it is you gotta take yourself past that scenario of when the banks crash, and will Bitcoin be seen as something that can save humanity, or will it be seen as something a bunch of smart people who know about computers made a lot of money and preserved their wealth, but everybody else lost out because we can't use it in day-to-day transactions? In that scenario, Bitcoin would be shut down, and all the anarchists who say that not one government can shut it down. It's true, not one government can shut Bitcoin down, but all of them can. All of them working together with humanity to stand up and say, no, this is no good for our future anymore. It would have been nice. It would have been great because it would have helped us through. Anyway, so yeah, I've been watching videos of these guys, and they're not that bright, and their supporters are not that bright. I mean, it just blows my mind watching some of these videos. Okay, moving on. Enough of that. I'm pretty much not going to talk about it anymore because I think it's already in the works and it's already happening, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, if we do have a contentious hard fork and two coins split off, I believe it would be interesting because you own both coins. One will become the dominant coin most likely by selling one coin and buying the other. I talked about this in my explanation video. It might be that Bitcoin SegWit first starts out as the dominant coin, and every trade tries to get out of Bitcoin Unlimited solution and go to Bitcoin SegWit, and then the banking collapse happens, and everybody tries to get back into Bitcoin Unlimited, and they won't be able to get in because nobody will be selling on the Bitcoin Unlimited side. So for me, I mean, if I was trying to game this game, I would kind of wait a little bit, see which coin was, see if SegWit is really taking off because of the store of value aspects, and then I would sell it with both fists and load up on the cheap Bitcoin Unlimited, because I know at some point that banking crash is going to happen, and everybody will be looking for a way to transact business, and Bitcoin Unlimited is clearly the choice to do that as a means of exchange. So yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't think I can move that fast, and I don't even know if the exchanges will be up and running. But I truthfully don't think these smart computer programmers and their minions who are just morons. Sorry, guys. I don't think they're gonna figure it out. So it might be contentious, but even if it's contentious, I think all the miners can vote with their money. All the miners that are running Bitcoin Unlimited, which will be probably by that time 70 to 90%, or all of them most likely. And yeah, the miners, not only can they vote with their Bitcoin, as in sell the Bitcoin SegWit and buy Bitcoin Unlimited, they got, Satoshi Nakamoto would do the same thing, and Roger and all his followers and his coins, me and everybody who listens to me, we'll all be selling the SegWit solution and buying Bitcoin Unlimited. And it's not just for the moral aspects of it. I think humanity is going to value Bitcoin Unlimited a whole lot more than SegWit in the future if the banks crash. All right, moving on. So I decided not to do Zero Hedge today because it's a lot of stuff from yesterday. So we're going to go down the Wall Street Journal. And I'm not a subscriber, so I won't be clicking on any of the articles just so they send me to their subscription page. Republicans could have another fight over tax overhaul. Yeah, that's part of the plan on the road to Roota is to destroy the monetary system, and in order to do that, you can't have all these problems being fixed. The problems got to get worse and worse and worse, so such that the people implode the system. And yeah, Trump is half of the government needs to go, needs to be fired. I mean, that's just a reality. We have 35 million people who work directly or indirectly for the federal government. So clearly, Congress is not in favor of doing anything that will fix the problems anymore. And I mean, a lot of these guys are just criminals, and they do what they're told. So we'll see what happens. Trump's weighs new strategy after GOP bill failure. I heard that Paul Ryan is Trump's not basically he's going to take him out. I think Republicans are going to take out Paul Ryan and Rice Priebus, which is great. I mean, this is great. Get these guys out of there and put somebody new in there. Who could it be? I don't know. I would say Rand Paul would be a good guy for he's too controversial. He's too bright, basically, to put in that position. But yeah, we'll see what happens. There'll definitely be a lot of firing going on, which will be really exciting. And Trump going around, with the pink slips will be a fun thing to watch, because I know it's just the bad guys who are going to get their pink slips. All right, let's see what else is going on. Uber suspends self-driving vehicle program. Oh my God, self-driving vehicles. We're not ready. The technology is not there for it. And I'm truthfully surprised that Uber is even a company. I love it. I use it all the time. But here's the thing: you don't even know who you're getting into the car with. You could be axe murder for all you know. And Uber moving on to self-driving cars. First of all, the only reason that Uber is allowed to go forward is because a lot of people like that job, getting an Uber driver job where you create your own hours. And Uber kind of skirts around all kinds of laws within the taxi cab. People have been basically put out of business because of Uber. And if you don't have people in there driving, that's the whole many people are lobbying now to keep Uber because it's their job, and that industry is growing so big. But if you throw in self-driving cars, you've got a couple people making money, and then you throw in a couple accidents with these self-driving cars because the technology is so far from there. I mean, I don't know if it'll ever be a time and a place for self-driving cars, or the need after our transportation industry kind of changes with all these new technologies. So yeah, Uber, for now it's going to happen. These self-driving cars, I think, is one big accident, and the amount of lawsuits will destroy that company of Uber and probably their insurance company. So yeah, this self-driving car is way too early in my opinion, and we're having accidents already, and people are just scratching their head. Why are these self-driving cars even allowed? And the company should be sued for a whole lot of money. Same with, I think Google Maps has self-driving cars. Insane. And if they're in accidents, I shudder to think, what these how much money you can get out of these companies by introducing technology that's clearly not ready yet. Up on the top right there, slow housing recovery saps $300 billion from economy. It's going to get a lot worse. I've said it before. When the banking system goes down, the value of homes is going to drop 90% or more. And it's clearly, just ask yourself, how many people buy houses with cash? If the banks aren't lending, housing prices goes to the cost of the wood. That's just a fact in my head. All right. Bombing. U.S. coalition acknowledges it carries out airstrike in area of civilian deaths. Yeah, supposedly 200 and something people were died in the latest bombing airstrike. Trump, what the hell are you doing? Get out of every country and bring our troops home. That's what we put you in there. I put you in there to do. We are you bitch and moan before you get in there that we're too spread out, and you were saying the right things, but now you're okaying the bombing of of areas where we set up the bad guys in the first place. We need to get out. We need to bring our troops home. With a banking collapse, it will be forced because we won't have any money to support those troops. I hope those troops can make it home on their own. They're resourceful human beings, most of them. So I would advocate bringing all the troops home before you crash the monetary system, Mr. Trump. But continuing the bombing, what insane. Steve Pachenik has a new video kind of saying the same thing. We got to stop these neocons who are embedded in Congress and in the Pentagon. We got to stop it. We got to stop them. We have to pull them out, or pretty soon it's going to be, we're stuck and we're going to have to go to war with Russia or China or something like that, and it's not good. So we need to stop killing people. Would be nice. OPEC warns members to comply with oil production cuts. The price of oil is not determined by production of oil. Price is determined by computers and derivatives on the electronic rigged markets. The derivatives associated with oil are just about as big as the derivatives associated with gold and silver. All kinds. I did a research paper on this once a long time ago for another job I had, and it was coming down to all. The thing about oil is there's all kinds of categories of oil. There's a sweet crude and all kinds. Like I think there was like 100 different traded oil derivatives. That's how the price is set. It's set on the derivative market in the basement of the Treasury. That's how they rig the markets. Rig the oil markets. And it was very important. OPEC was very important because it was created to go onto an unbacked fiat system. In 70, 71, 72, that was the idea. All that extra money that was supposed to flow back into the United States because we went off the gold standard, it was now being required to be used in the oil industry because the U.S. said, everybody, OPEC, we made OPEC force their members to sell oil only in U.S. dollars. And I think now it's in the $3 trillion range of artificial support for the dollar because countries have to use it for oil purchases. That's changing, obviously. Saddam Hussein was all about changing that, and look what happened to him. So it's hard to change. Russia and China are doing bilateral deals, not using the U.S. dollar in their oil transactions. But yeah, the U.S. clearly can't go to war with both of them and expect to win that war. I don't think anybody can go to war with anybody on a large scale anymore because there's just too many weapons of mass destruction out there and able to be set off. And one other thing that I was thinking about yesterday, there was an article about Apple. Somebody's blackmailing Apple. They say they have the passwords and codes for all the iCloud stuff, and unless they get paid X amount of money, they're going to delete everybody's account. So all your information in the iCloud will be deleted. Is it a bluff? Is it true? I don't know if it's true, but I do know one thing, that it can be done. Something like that can be done. Firewalls are in place, and then there's always a way around it. I think in the longer term, it's very scary for humanity because if you think about it, all of our information and writings and transactions and some of the greatest literature in the world is all being digitized. And with everything in the digital network, all it takes is one superbug to destroy everything, and then all of a sudden we have no history. we disappear because we'll go back to the books that are the hard copy books that have been created. That's why I print off all my articles. I store them on a piece of paper because I know how easy it is for information to get erased in a computer, especially this is a potential threat right now to Apple. Every single document in the iCloud, all your photos and your movies and blah blah blah, all that, and it's real interesting. It gets back to I don't know if you guys are aware of it, but there was this guy named John Teeter, back in the early 2000s, was on Art Bell chat room and claimed to be a time traveler. And it's really interesting what he was saying, because a lot of it has come true. A lot of it's been delayed also. Now, I talked to Cliff High about this, and he said, that's a CIA operation that they were doing, some kind of mind control thing that they were kind of figuring out. The CIA does a lot of things for a lot of reasons, but I think it's something more. I don't know if he was a time traveler, and if it was a CIA thing, it's probably from information the CIA got from like remote viewing and things like that about the future. But one of the things they were talking about is all the information that was lost, the electronic information that was lost in the war. I mean, in his story, the U.S. goes to war. No, people within the U.S. There's a civil war within the U.S. We kind of see that starting right now, and it's ultimately ended with Russia bombing a few of the major cities in the United States, nuclear bombs in the United States. They give them as much warning as you need to get out. Everybody knew it was coming, so people got out of the cities. But that ended the war when Russia dropped bombed it. And this is back in like 2001 when John Teeter was posting these things, and we weren't enemies with Russia back then, and now we're like, wait a minute, are these neocons trying to start a fake war? And clearly the United States is on the brink of civil war. I wouldn't say we're on the brink of civil war. I would say you could see how it could evolve now, whereas 2 years ago I'd say that's crazy. We don't hate each other that much now. Now we are. It's the latest protest in Southern California. There was a Trump rally with 2,000 people, and about 50 or so far left people came with pepper spray and just ran through the crowd, pepper spraying everybody. Insane. I mean, this is the tree hugging left side of the spectrum in the United States, and they're turning completely militant. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, this is your Sunday Horn of Zeese. I think I have 2 videos coming out. I posted something on the electric scooter last night, but I need to do a little more editing. That'll go up again today. It's really cool, and you guys will like it. Everybody's been asking me about what's this electric scooter thing, so I did a little video of it. Also, I promised you the secret silver stash analysis. Really cool, some inside information from the Treasury, and I'll be posting that hopefully today, probably tonight. And that's it. Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. Talk to you later.